All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the New York Giants because they are currently a day removed from their biggest comeback victory since 1949, where they outscored the Arizona Cardinals 31-8 in the second half, and they put up 24 unanswered points after being down 20-0 at halftime. They come out here, first play of the second half, play action, deep bomb to Jalin Hyatt for 58 freaking yards. That is exactly what I want to see more of within the Giants offense. But they're going to ride this momentum into this Thursday on the road, prime time, short week against San Francisco. And we're about to learn even more about this New York Giants team. But hey, the second half, that's the potential. The second half of that game against Arizona, that's the Giants that we know this team is capable of, okay? I don't think, and we talked about this in yesterday's video, the context does not matter. By the end of the season, nobody will remember this football game. Well, they'll remember it in the sense of like, oh yeah, that was really cool. I remember watching that. But they won't go back and it won't hinder the Giants, right? We talked about it yesterday. It's not college football. It doesn't matter. A win is a win. The Giants are going to carry this momentum. I promise you it's going to happen. But keep in mind, this is a very young football team. On both sides of the ball, they're very, very young. All right. They're still a little bit banged up. They desperately need some offensive line help. And we're going to talk about everything in today's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Giants fans, I love you guys so much. If we could try and get this video to 1,000 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. So just a great example of what this Giants team could be and what we think it's going to be is pretty much the entire second half, but specifically the first drive of the second half, where they come out here, they're down 20-0, and it's make or break. I mean, you need to score, but you need to score a touchdown. They got the ball, kicked after halftime, scored 90 seconds into the second half. They scored 90 seconds into the second half. Now, here's the thing. Why are, I've seen it on Twitter. I've seen it all over social media. Why are people, overreacting right now to this, win over the Cardinals, the lousy Cardinals, a team that's going to win 2 or 3 football games, or maybe 4 if they're lucky this upcoming season? First off, it's the NFL. No win is really easy. There are storylines that go into this. Players get injured, players get better, players get worse. We've covered all of this before. But for me, what I saw was resiliency with Daniel Jones, Brian Daboll, Wink Martindale making the proper and necessary second half adjustments after the abysmal, shell-shocking first half led by Joshua Dobbs and the Arizona Cardinals offense. The first 6 quarters of the Giants season, they were down 60-0. It was just so weird. This is a team that went to the playoffs, took down on the road a 13-win Minnesota team, and through their first 6 quarters, they're down 60-0. It was just weird. A great indicator of why week 1 does not matter, but they bounced back and they showed me a lot of resiliency. But we saw the potential and we saw the playmaking potential within this offense, and it all started on the first play of the second half, the 58-yard bomb to Jalin Hyatt. Because what does this do? It opens up the middle of the field, and we saw it in the second half when Darren Waller began to feast, because you have to respect Jalin Hyatt's speed. They got playmakers with Darren Waller, but they got important deep threats to open up the middle of the field to make Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Brian Daboll, everybody's job easier. Keep in mind, Wan'Dale Robinson, last year's second-round pick, he has yet to make his season debut. He's another deep speedster threat. Guys like Darren Waller, Darius Slayton, Isaiah Hodgins, all of them are going to benefit. And like I said, like I keep saying, we saw it exactly come into fruition in the second half. No matter how you want to phrase it to me, a team coming back down 20-0 is extremely impressive. This is something I would not have anticipated from the Giants in the past. Since Eli Manning up until this season, I feel like that's a game that the Giants would lose. Most teams would lose a game you're down 20-0 at halftime. But to outscore them 31-8 in the second half, 24 unanswered points, I saw resiliency. And I think it's very, very, very important. But guys like Darius Slayton, Isaiah Hodgins, we talked all summer about Isaiah Hodgins. We talked all summer about Jalen Hyatt, Darren Waller, and how big of an addition these guys are. And in the first week of the season, it was so weird. I was just talking to my buddy who's a Giants fan, still bamboozled from week one. You know, like Dak Prescott didn't even throw for 150 yards. Dak Prescott didn't even throw a passing touchdown. I'm not saying the Giants are going to win the Super Bowl this upcoming season. I'm not saying they're going to win 13 games, go 13-4. This is long term. This is still a plan. This is still a several season plan. There's so many moving parts, specifically on the offensive line. And this is turning into a very big concern I have with the New York Giants, because if your left tackle, if Andrew Thomas is banged up, I'm a little worried. All right. I like John Michael Schmitz. I like the potential of Evan Neal. We just have yet to see it. It's just so weird. The first round pick last year, drafted so early, expectations are so high. We just need to see better offensive line play. Now, we're only 2 weeks into the regular season, but especially with the Saquon Barkley injury, where, by the way, we don't have any info on Saquon Barkley's injury, but what we do know is the Giants are cautiously optimistic. All right. That's good news, because if you're going to miss Saquon for a couple of weeks, that's all right. All right. It's going to be okay, but they need help on offensive line, whether that's bringing in free agents, whether that is making a trade. If the Giants want postseason success, they want to get into the postseason. Even with that being said, they need to improve the offensive line. I don't know if that's going to come internally. I think it's going to need to come via free agency or via a trade. They need to bolster the offensive line. That's my one concern with them. Defensively, I loved what I saw. First off, I love Wink Martindale. I have full faith, full confidence if my DC is Wink Martindale. The second half is more so what I expect to see. The first week, like we mentioned, is not. Dak, I think he threw exactly 143 yards, literally threw 0 touchdowns. The first week was a wash. First half, 20 points, they bounced back. All right. They only gave up 8 points in the second half. So it's not, the Giants aren't a perfect team, right? But we never said the Giants are a perfect team. It's perfectly fine. All right. So this is a big matchup. Thursday night on the road against San Francisco, the NFC's juggernaut. I'm not saying, I don't know who's going to win this football game, but if the Giants win this game, everything changes. Literally everything changes. But you've got 2 big-time opponents in the NFC West. Road game, then week 4 at home, Monday Night Football against the Seattle Seahawks. This is 2 huge games. This is a difficult month stretch. You got San Francisco, Seattle, Miami, and Buffalo. If the Giants can just get out of this stretch at 2-2, 3-3 after week 6, I know it's not a sexy record, but that is not the worst place to be. All right. Trust me. So that's it for today. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button. We'll probably get another Giants video out to you guys before that Thursday night game against San Francisco. So stay tuned. But as always, hit that like button, hit that sub button. Guys, let me know what you're thinking. I want to hear about the offensive line. If you're a Giants fan, if you're an NFL fan, let me know what you want the Giants to do with the offensive line. Do you stay internal? Do you look to free agency? Do you look through a trade? Let me know down below. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.